French, you're French. So they call it like droit du sol. And there's another reason it's like droit du sol. If you are born, if you were born in France, you would become French. So there are like two requirements. Like, I mean, there are other requirements, but these are the two main requirements: droit du sang et droit du sol. Like French blood, as you said. Okay. What about you, Nathan? Okay. We're waiting for you, so.
Sorry. I wrote a French person, someone who knows French language and culture.
Language and culture. Okay, I like it. Yeah.
I've heard a French person who's just a person who speaks French.
Just a person who speaks French. Okay.
I said a French person is someone who was born in or has ancestors, no matter how far back they're from.
I said being French means you can have like pride in France, and if you're born there, ancestors from France.
But so far, there's a word that is common very often. Do you know which one? No. Ancestors. It reminds me of something. When I was living in Martinique, I lived 19 years in France and 7 years in Martinique, and I remember my parents telling me that when they were students, they had like textbooks saying that their ancestors were Gaulish or Welsh, like Vikings, And but the thing is that that was not the case with my parents and grandparents because their ancestors were Africans. So it's like I'm French, and I would say that my ancestors were African and European because I'm kind of mixed. But it's not like ancestry is really vague, and really you need to be really careful with that word. But yeah, that's good. What about you?
I feel you have to live in France and in French culture.
I put being French means someone who speaks French and know the true culture of France. A lot of France have a strong nationalism and also related to their origins, like ancestors.
Okay, and the last one, what is it?
I put the French person is someone who has been immersed into a French culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone who has been immersed into a French culture.
Okay, yeah, immersion. Okay, that's good. Have you heard about the word francophonie? Yes. Can you explain?
It's like someone who knows how to speak French. I'm not sure if it's referring to the areas or each person.
It's the person, it's an area, and it's an organization. It's an organization of 55 countries. And do you know why they decided to meet and organize, I mean, what is the reason why, a francophonie was created? Do you know why? Just because, as you said, there are some people, they speak French, but they don't live in France. They live in Africa, they live in North America, they live in Oceania, they live in each continent. And they are attracted to the French language and the French culture because they have a history in common, colonialism. So I'll show you a picture. This one. So this is all the countries, and this is, you can see, this is France here, and you have like here, French Antilles, Martinique, Guadeloupe. That's where my parents come from. So I'm French. I was born in France, but my parents were born in Martinique. And so you have all the countries you can see, in Africa, in Europe, North America. We have South America. With it's hard to see, but there's French Guyana, and there's here. So all these countries are connected. They are connected by the French language, and they want to promote the French language and the French culture. So when you study French, it's not only how to speak. You don't study French because you want to speak French. you need to understand that there are some cultures, that there are some people behind, you know, the language. So it's not only the language you learn, but it's also the cultures. And it's really diverse. France is really, really diverse. But for example, now, you know, after this year or in 2 years, you'll be able to speak French, and you'll be able to go to Montenegro, or you'll be able to go to Africa, Morocco, Algeria, and you'll be able to communicate because people speak French over there. And the reason why they speak French is because French was a colonial empire, and there are still people who can speak the language, even though some official languages in these countries are older than French. So this is why I want you to understand this. And actually, you know, in your book on page 162, there's a chapter. It's called De la Martinique à Paris en avion. And in this chapter, you learn many things about Montenegro. The emphasis was really on Montenegro. I would say because it's the best ice. But it's really beautiful. It's amazing. It's really beautiful. And you learn about the people, the culture, the carnival, sports, what they do, and you learn that they are French citizens and European citizens. And so this presentation was a kind of introduction to this chapter. And as a homework, I mean, what you could do is go and talk to parents. This is, you know, what I would give you, like an interview sheet. And I'd like you to go and see your parents, your neighbors, your friends, and ask them what they think about a French person is. So their definition. So you put their name, like 10 people, different ages. Like this, you have like different definitions because old people, all generation will say something different than a young person. And you write down the definition, like 10 people. And that's it. Thank you for your participation, and thank you, Fabienne, for having me in your class. And before leaving, I would like you to fill this out. It's just for me. It was first time, so I was kind of
Merci beaucoup.
nervous. I was blushing. So the idea now is to write another definition of, you know, on the next, in the second column. It's going to be different now, but that's the idea. Be honest, it's going to be anonymous, so be honest.
Allez, je peux éteindre maintenant. Je peux éteindre.